All right, welcome everyone. My name is Eric, and welcome to tonight's information session from Neotech Academy. And before we went on the air, I always like to ask everyone, describe your ideal job. What are some characteristics of that? And some of the responses I got were, working remotely, um, getting paid getting paid what I'm worth. Pay per result, not pay per hour. I thought that was interesting. I like that one. We're going to talk about all of those things tonight. So we're going to be discussing who Neotech Academy is, what exactly it is that we do. We're going to talk about what really is, in my opinion, our life-changing boot camp. And we'll talk about, I'll explain what I mean by life-changing boot camp in just a little bit. And we'll go through your questions. We also have someone with us tonight who is an alumni, and his name is Dan. He's going to be with you a little bit later to talk about his experience. He was just like you. He was sitting in one of these webinar sessions, wondering what is this whole thing all about. I don't know if I want to get involved with IT or not. I don't know if I want to get involved with these guys at Neotech Academy. Who are those guys? So he was in the same position as you, and you'll be able to ask him questions. You'll hear about his experience. But before we get too far into this, folks, I want you to do me a favor. Write down this date, February 16, 2025. February 16, 2025. That is the start of our upcoming boot camp. Now, I want to explain what a boot camp is in just a few minutes. We'll go through that. But really, what this is all about, as far as I'm concerned, it's not just training on how to get involved in the IT field, but in my opinion, it's freedom. That's what it boils down to. So when I ask people about their ideal job, and they talk about, I want to work remotely, or maybe worst case, a hybrid situation. I want to be paid what I'm worth. It really boils down to freedom, being able to do the things that they want to do. If you have kids, especially, because I've noticed this, we have a lot of folks who are making a transition from one career to IT, for example, and they might already have a family and they want to spend more time with the kids. I have 4 kids, so I know where you're coming from. And if you've got that flexibility of not having to be tied to the office, 9 to 5, 5 days a week, coming in on Saturdays and all that, now you won't miss out on those important events. So we're going to talk about something which doesn't have any type of formal education requirements in most cases. It doesn't matter really what you're doing right now. I mean, we have a lot of people I'm noticing that are in the um, medical field, a lot of people who are in the education field, and they're making a transition to IT. But guys, I don't care if you're a bartender. I don't care if your main source of income is driving Uber or parking cars. It takes a desire to learn how to do this, which we teach you to do. And then we're going to give you experience on real projects. We will then, when it's all said and done, help you with your job placement. So we're going to do all of those things for you. I'm going to tell you exactly how it works. It's also a money back guarantee. So you're at no risk. Now, let me make sure you're clear though. You're not necessarily making any financial commitment tonight. Don't worry about that. We're going to give you some information. However, if you do decide tonight, for example, that this is something that you want to do, we have a special offer for those of you who like what you see and you like what you hear tonight, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Okay. So we'll get to all of your questions, all the things that are important for you to know in just a few minutes here. Now let's run through some background. Some of the most important, fastest growing occupations, really in the world are in the IT industry. For the next generation, if you think about it, everything is going to be tech related. Jobs are available in every city that you can possibly think of, but remote is also available as well. Many of our students have received remote job offers. Now here's the thing. Remote is not a guarantee, okay? As some companies, ever since COVID ended, they are asking, people to come into their office in like a hybrid role, like we discussed a moment ago. But if you are required to go into an office, a lot of companies nowadays in the IT industry offer some pretty cool work environments. I'm sure a lot of you have seen, videos on YouTube or, social media and so forth, where people show you, where they work, and, they get, in many cases, free lunches, except for X. They don't offer the free lunches anymore, right? But other places, some of the places do, they give you gym memberships, generous vacation time. Of course, the higher compensation. We're going to talk a lot about this tonight. The higher compensation, many companies offer 401ks, bonuses, insurance. I would say this, that a career in IT really does check a lot of boxes for many people. Now, I mentioned COVID a moment ago. I would say this, one of the silver linings to COVID is that it taught us that tomorrow is not a guarantee. How many of you would agree with that, by the way, that tomorrow is not a guarantee? Also, it taught us that we've got to have a plan B, that we can't rely on corporate America or, the government to take care of us. We've got to have a backup plan. And for many people, what we're going to be getting into tonight has become a backup plan for them in a sense, but it's become really, instead of it being their plan B, it's actually become their plan A. Now, speaking of COVID, think about this for a second. A pandemic, God forbid, a pandemic could happen again. You never know. You never know if things are going to be shut down again. But if you recall, it's been almost 5 years since COVID started, right? In early 2020, companies were shut down. People couldn't go to work. People were laid off work. But in this industry, in the IT industry, however, the IT industry thrived. Why? Because there were already remote opportunities available, and COVID only increased those opportunities. Now, as I said a moment ago, sorry about that. Like I said a moment ago, what I don't want you to get too caught up on is your previous education. Don't worry if you don't have a college degree. Don't worry, about your current, what you're doing. Don't worry about language also. Now, you do have to speak English, don't get me wrong, but don't worry if English is your second language. That's okay. Also, don't worry about your age. I get this question a lot. What if I'm in my 40s, my 50s, my 60s, and I'm looking to, make a change? That's fine. By the way, go ahead and do this, folks, if you wouldn't mind. Type into the chat what industry you're in right now, and how long you've been in that industry. I'm just curious about that. So just put like, accounting, 15 years, or, you've been in the medical field for 6 years, whatever the case may be. Type it into the chat if you would. I'm going to come back and read a few of those in just a little bit. Now, what exactly is a software tester? What will you actually be doing as a quality assurance engineer? Well, let me ask you a very rhetorical question. How many of you have ever used an application such as Facebook or, Instagram, TikTok, Amazon, Uber? You don't have to answer. I know everyone here has. Okay. Now, here's why I'm asking that question. If you've used one of these applications before, you know what a good application that works is like. You use it and it functions properly. When you try to make a purchase, it goes through okay. If you're traveling, like I travel somewhat often, and I'll go on my phone and call an Uber, and the car's there, hopefully in a few minutes. So that's what you bring to the table. You have used technology. You know what that's like. What we're going to do is this. We're going to give you some technical knowledge and hands-on expertise on top of that, put it all together, and you learn how to do software testing. Now, a software tester's role is vitally important to a company. Now, think about it. Here's the reason why. You are charged as a software tester in making sure that the software functions properly and doesn't have any defects. Because think about it, if you're the company, do you want to introduce a product, an application to the public that doesn't work properly? No, because you'll get bad reviews. It'll cost you all kinds of money in the long run. So what companies do is they actually pay top dollar. You can see up here on your screen, high-paying job opportunities as a software tester, $90,000+ potentially. They pay top dollar for people to come in and make sure that the application does not have any bugs or defects before the public starts to use it. Now, what is a bug? What is a defect? And how will I know what to look for? Well, you'll be given, first of all, a list of requirements, as they refer to it as. So you'll simply go through the software, you'll test it out as though you're the end user, the customer, and it could be something really simple like it's the wrong color scheme. Maybe the developer put the wrong color there, it's the wrong font. Maybe it's something big like it crashes every time you try to use it. It could be a typo, something of that nature. Now, here's the good part about this, guys. You don't have to fix it. All you have to do is make note of it. You'll be taught how to do this. You let the developer know. The software developer then will correct the problem. Okay? But your job is finding the bug as a software tester. Now, no IT background required. You have to have experience on some projects, but we're going to give you that experience. That's what a boot camp is all about. Now, let me just pause and ask this question. From a 30,000-foot view, does that make a little bit of sense as to what a software tester does? Just give me a yes or a no in the comments there. Does that make sense? What exactly you'll be doing as a software tester? You're making sure there are no bugs or defects before the public uses it. And the salaries are higher than the national average. Make sense, guys? I'm seeing yeses. I don't see any no's yet. Okay, very good. So we created a boot camp that teaches people from scratch on how to become competent in and have a career in IT. And as I said earlier, many successful software testers are not actually college graduates, as that is not a requirement in many cases. Employers just want to know, can you do the job? Which is what we train you to do. So we train you in this skill set. I always like to say this, guys, when you've got a skill set, nobody can take it from you. Isn't that wonderful? Once you've got the skill set, nobody can take it from you. So we're going to train you in this skill set. And think about this for a second. At this point, you haven't done anything, most likely. Unless you have a career in IT already, you haven't done any type of project, anything in IT. So think about where you are right now. Imagine where you are right now and where you could be in the future. So we're going to take you with no experience. It's a 6-month boot camp. The projects we're going to have you work on, you actually can put on your CV, legitimate projects, hands-on experience. So then when you go to that job interview, which we will help you in finding a job, we'll also going to help you in the interview process, the application process. You can actually say and put on your CV, which again will help you out in putting together, yes, I worked on this project, this project, this project, that project. Okay. So again, we have a proven process. You'll hear from one of our graduates in just a few minutes. He'll be interviewed by one of our founders. His name is Elion. We have a proven process which can enable you to become competent and really proficient in the IT field. And we offer, like I said a moment ago, a money-back guarantee. So really, there winds up being no risk for you at all. And I'll get into a lot more detail about that in just a few minutes. Now, notice what it says up here. There are some career paths that you can choose after graduation. Now, at this point, you probably have no idea what a software development engineer and test does, or an SDET. You'll learn about that, though. Automation test engineer, QA engineer, software tester, we just talked about that a moment ago, quality analyst. As you start to go through the process of landing that first job, other opportunities will begin to become apparent to you. So the first thing would be most likely software tester, but from there, it could springboard into other career paths. Now, keep in mind, I said it a moment ago, and I asked you to write it down. Make note of this, February 16, 2025. That's our next boot camp. That's when it begins again. It's a 6-month accelerated course. So think about it like this. You will learn more, guys, in 6 months than it would take most people years of on-the-job training. So we are just going to really shorten that learning curve for you. Here's part of for credibility purposes, notice this up here. Course report, very prominent in this industry, rated us as the best QA testing boot camp in 2023, as well as this year. Career Karma, you may have heard of them, rated us as the best software testing boot camp for 2024. Now, the salary ranges for software tester, QA engineer, so forth, what I want you to do, don't do it now because I don't want you to get distracted, but when we're done, go to a job site, go to Indeed, go to wherever it is you find, you look for opportunities like Glassdoor, LinkedIn, whatever the case may be, and notice what the salary ranges are for some of the things that we're going to be talking about tonight so you can see it for yourself. Now, again, you get started in your career as a software tester, you'll be exposed to many tools, many languages throughout our program. Now, as you take a look at this, Scrum Master, you might ask yourself, or you might say, well, what in the world is a Scrum Master? Is that like rugby related or something? You get into a Scrum. Don't be confused by this because it's just like anything else. Once you've done it a few times, once you've gone through the process, of been exposed to this terminology, it'll become easy to you. I always like to say this. When I was in high school, I didn't like calculus a whole lot. I thought it was kind of a waste of time. Some of you probably agree with me. Some of you might not agree with me. I don't know. And I found it kind of challenging at first. First semester, it was like, man, am I going to get through this? But then the second semester came along, and I was like, you know what? What I learned in the first semester isn't too bad because I've done it so much. So we are big believers in what's called experiential training. Some of you might be familiar with this, where we learn as humans much easier than just being told what to do. Like me, for example. Some of you probably, are a lot sharper than I am, but maybe some of you can relate to this. I have a hard time learning some things just by being told what to do. I learn better when you tell me what to do, and then you show me what to do. Then you let me do it, and you let me know also if I'm doing it correctly. Experiential training. That's how we operate here. It's not just a PowerPoint presentation where the instructor runs through a whole bunch of stuff and then that's it. It's all hands-on. We have group projects, we have homework available, all these different things. So again, shorten that learning curve and get you going on the right path to land you that first job, which we actually help you out in doing. So here's what I want to do. What I want to do now is introduce you to one of our founders of Neotech Academy. His name is Elian, and he's going to tell you a little bit about himself and go into more detail about our boot camp. So Elian, if you want to go ahead and take it away, sir, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Eric. Okay, so how are you doing, everyone? So I just wanted to go over what we're gonna do like after this one. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about what we offer in our bootcamp. So what are teaching, what are the tools that we're teaching, then and of course the schedule of the bootcamp. Then I'm gonna invite one of our alumni. He's gonna talk about his experience during the bootcamp and now that he's working as a software tester. And then if you have any questions, of course you can direct your questions to him and he'll be answering your questions. Okay. So my name is Elion Limanai and I'm one of the co-founders of Neotech Academy. So we have built this bootcamp in order to help people start a career in IT from scratch. So people with no background, they start learning everything from zero. And then at the end of the 6 months, they're able to do the projects, they're able to do the job, and they're able to land the job in this field. So so what we offer in our bootcamp, so we are teaching, so first of all, we start with manual testing. So what is manual testing? Manual testing is doing the test, doing those check if the, like, let me go one step back. So what is software testing in general, right? Software testing is making sure that the software is working as expected. So the company has a product, whichever application we're talking about. So we can talk about Facebook, we can talk about Bank of America, we can talk about Twitter, now it's X. All those web applications, those are applications that are built by a company. And the company, they have the developers that are building the software, but they also have the testers. The job of the tester is to make sure that everything is working as expected. So they're trying to break the system. They're trying to do different things to make sure that if something goes wrong, they report it to the developer so that they can fix the problem before it goes to the customers. Okay, so we don't want the customers to find bugs, or we don't want our software to crash when the customers are using it. So the job of the software tester is to make sure that everything is working fine. So you can do these things manually, right? And then if something goes wrong, you just take the screenshot and then make a report, and you are letting know the team that something is going wrong. You have to fix this part of the software. And then all those things can be done manually by a mouse and a keyboard, right? But of course, the salaries are low, and there are not too many job openings, because now more and more companies are shifting into automation, into coding, right? So you want to write your code, you want to write your script, and your script will be able to test everything in the software. So for that reason, we teach to our students coding and programming. So we teach Java programming language, which is one of the strongest programming languages. Of course, there are a lot of different programming languages there, but if you know one of them, you can go to the companies and you can find the job, even if they're using other programming languages, let's say. So we spend most of the time teaching coding, like first 3 months teaching Java. And then after you learn about Java, after you learn everything that you need, then we start with automation testing tools. So you learn TestNG, you learn Selenium, you learn Cucumber, you learn all these things that allow you to open the browser, to log in, to do different things with the browser. And then if something goes wrong, you take the screenshot and then you report. But all these things are done with the code. So you are writing your code, you're writing your software, which will test the product that is built by your company. So after you learn this part, guys, after you learn coding and automation testing, then you can work as front-end tester. Front-end tester are those people that are testing whatever the users see. So that's the front part of the software. But of course, we don't stop there. We want our students to be exposed to more job openings. That's why we also learn about database and API. So what is database and API? Of course, maybe there are a lot of technical terms here, which you're going to learn during the bootcamp in 6 months. But I just want you to have an idea. So maybe you have somebody in this field. Maybe you can go and do some Google search to see if those are enough for you to to learn and to find a job at the end. So database and API, right? Database is the backend, it's the part that the users don't see. It's all those data are stored. So let's suppose that we're talking about Bank of America, right? One of the examples. So you are making a transaction. You're sending some money to somebody. Maybe you're receiving money from somebody else. All those transactions are stored somewhere, which is called the database. And you want to make sure that all these transactions are stored correctly. And API is that interface that allows you to get information from the database and show it on the front end. So you as testers, you're going to be able to test whatever the users see, and also the back part of the software that the users don't see. And by knowing both of them, you're called full stack tester. So you're front end tester, back end tester, and if you know both, you're also called full stack tester. By being a full stack tester, you're able, right? You're able to be exposed to a lot of job openings at the end. So these are the technical part of the bootcamp during this 6 months. But of course, this is the technical part, but also we have the, let's say, non-technical part, right? Or let's say the soft skills that we call the soft skills. So we prepare you with the terminology, with the linguistic, right? What are the terminology that you use in the field? What are the meetings that you do in the field? What are the, right? So we prepare you for those interviews. Whenever you go to an interview, apply somewhere, they'll ask you, what is a Scrum meeting, right? What is a Scrum Master? What is these things? All those things you need to know so that you are, right? So that you pass those rounds of the interviews. And then they also ask you technical things, which you also learn during the bootcamp. So by preparing this part, you are ready for the interviews. You're ready to pass those interviews and to land that job. And of course, since most of the students, I can say 99% of the students, they don't have any background in IT. When they come, they don't even have a resume in this field. So we prepare them, right? We help them prepare a resume, and we go over it to make sure that the resume is prepared according to the standards that are in this field. So this is, right, for you during the bootcamp, that we prepare with the technical part and with the non-technical part for the interviews. And then after you pass interviews, right, after you go and get a couple of interviews, and if you pass them, then probably they'll give you an offer. Or maybe sometimes some of the students, they get multiple offers. So you want to know which one is the best for you. Some of them might be remote, some of them might be full-time jobs, some of them might be contractual based, right? So which one is better for you and which one is the highest, right, compensation for you? So we help you with that part. And also sometimes they need the background check, right? So we also help our students with that part to make sure that they are able to pass those steps and to be able to start working in the industry. So as we said, we prepare you with the technical part, with all the information that you need for the interviews. Even after you pass the interviews, we help you, and then after that you start working in the company. So these are the tools that we teach, guys. And I know that you look here and you may see there are a lot of tools and you might be scared, but I don't want you to be scared, because we have done this thing 8-9 times so far. So we have hundreds of students that have been graduated from the boot camp. Most of them has been let's say they have found the job, they're working in the field. So we have done these things multiple times, guys, and we know what we're teaching and we know what you need and how to teach those things. So Java, as I mentioned earlier, is one of the most important part of the bootcamp. We spend the first 3 months teaching Java, which is the programming language that we teach. Then we spend, let's say, 5 weeks with Selenium. Then we teach you TestNG and Cucumber, which are the software testing tools. Then we teach you Postman and Rest Assured, which are API testing tools. We teach you MySQL, which is a database. We teach you Jira, which is a tool that is used in the IT industry to share the tasks. All these things will be taught step by step. Like we'll spend a couple of weeks with one of the tools, and we're gonna learn about it. So this waiter here, right? The tool is called Jenkins. It's one of the tools that is needed, right? So that is also what we teach at the end of the bootcamp. We teach you GitHub and Maven. These are the tools, right? These are all the tools that are taught during the bootcamp. And people who already know, who are in the field, maybe they're not software testers, but maybe they're cybersecurity or software developers or other people, they know that these tools are used in the industry, especially, right? Especially Java, GitHub, Jenkins, Maven, all these tools here. So what do we offer? So we mentioned these things, but just gonna wrap it up again one more time. So we're gonna give you a lot of hands-on experience. So we're gonna teach you classes one by one. You're gonna have real projects during this time. So you're gonna have group projects that you're gonna do with your team members. You're gonna have individual projects that you're gonna do alone. During these projects, right, you're gonna be able to work with other team members, to collaborate with the others, like this is done in real life scenarios, in real life in this job. All these tools, methods, strategies that are taught are the current trend and technologies. As I said, if you go to a company, maybe they're using other programming language. Maybe they're not using Java, they're using C#, Python, other, right, Node.js, different programming languages. But when you go to the company, you don't need to lie about it. You say, I know Java and I don't know C#. So I can learn it in a couple of months. And as I said, a lot of our students, they have gone to companies which are using other tools and they have been hired, because learning a new tool, it's easy as long as you know the whole process, what a software tester does, what are the strategies that they use, and then learning a new tool is easy. So all the classes, guys, will be online as we're doing right now. This is similar to the class that we do. We have a Zoom account, right, where our students, they're watching, right? They're watching from home. We are practicing together. So we're teaching those things, but we're teaching in a way that the students are following us, the students are typing with us, and they are learning these things step by step. And all these classes are recorded and shared with the students so that they can watch them after the class. So some of the students maybe have an emergency, they couldn't join the class. All the classes are recorded and everybody can watch the recordings at their own let's say responsibility, right, at the home. So also we have, guys, one-on-one training and mentorship. So we have our mentors. Mentors are people that mostly are our students who have been working for like 3 to 5 years in the field. They have worked in maybe couple of companies. They have experience, and they will teach to our students what are the tools, what are the things that are done, or how the meetings are done, how these things are used in the industry. So first, at the beginning, since they don't know too much, we are inviting our mentors one by one and explain about these things. But after 3 months, then we create the groups. So every 10 students, they have their own mentor, and they join with him or with her at their specific time. So every group, right? So every group will have their mentor. They'll do the project together. They'll help them with those steps of the project. Okay. So, and as I said, not only we teach you these tools and everything, but also after the students, they go to the interviews. After, right, we prepare them for the interviews. We do something we call mock interviews. Whatever questions are asked in the real interviews, we ask one of our mentors, one of our instructors. They are doing an interview to the student similar to the one that is done in the real field. After we give them the okay, after we say, you're good, you learned this stuff, then they prepare their resume and they start applying for the jobs. Even after they find the job, guys, we help our students maximize their compensation. So we are, let's say, as I said, we have had a lot of students who got multiple offers, and one of them is better, but the other one has some other options that even though the salary is lower, right, it has other benefits. Or sometimes you get a couple of offers and you go to a company, you say, if you match the other one, I would like to go with you so that you can hire your salaries from the companies. And since a lot of students are working in the field, probably sometimes there are job openings in their companies. They suggest to us, right, the job openings, and we are suggesting them to our students or to our alumni. So this is the schedule of our bootcamp, guys, by the way. So during Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3 days a week, it's from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. So 3 hours on Tuesday, 3 hours on Wednesday, 3 hours on Thursday. So there is 9 hours during the week. And by the way, all these times, guys, are Eastern time, or as I call New Jersey or New York time. If you are in a different time zone, please make sure that you're doing your own calculation. If you're in Central time zone, then this will be, let's say, from 6 to 9, right? Or if you are in California, then it's from 4 to 7. So make sure you do your calculation, because this is our schedule. 9 hours during the weekdays, and on Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. So 4 hours on Saturday, 4 hours on Sunday. So all these hours here are 17 hours of classes. And then besides this one, as I said, we have once a week, 1 hour mentor session that they meet with their mentor. Also, guys, right, during the boot camp, also we're gonna have homeworks and tasks that are given outside of the class. So we finish the class and we give some homework to prepare for the next class, to make sure that whatever we are teaching, you are learning, you're gaining those knowledge, and you're practicing those on your time. So by the way, guys, even though, right, we have designed this one in a way so that people that are working, sometimes I have some kind of questions. I'm working during the day, can I do the boot camp? So this is the schedule, guys. And even if you cannot join any of the classes, as I said, the class will be recorded and you can watch it at your own time. But of course, if possible, it is strongly suggested for you guys to join these classes live, because during those times you can ask questions. During those times you are with a group and you have the motivation because you're together with other team members. But of course, there are people who are busy during these times. They can do it at their own schedule. And as I said, right, you should be able to, besides the classes, you should be able to practice a little bit. So you have to spend an extra 5 to 10 hours weekly practicing whatever we learned, because we practice during the class, but of course we also want to practice even more. The more you practice, the easier will be for you when you go to the interviews. The easier will be for you when you get those tasks and everything, right? So this is the schedule, guys. Please take a screenshot or take notes if you have not done so. And of course, before I forget, let me tell you this thing that we are doing right now, guys, is recorded, and we're going to share with you the recording. Maybe you can rewatch those things that we're saying here. Maybe you can share with your friends that are interested. So maybe you can join the bootcamp together with somebody else that is interested. Okay. So I'm going to invite our alumni. And as I said, during this time, guys, please make sure that you ask your questions to him. Okay. Where is Dan?
1, 2, mic check.
Okay, just 1 second. Let me stop sharing.
Hello.
Hey, Dan, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. Long time no see.
It's been a minute. How you been?
Good, good. How are you doing? Everything all right?
Oh yeah, man. Another day, another dollar. Can't
Okay,
complain. Life is
perfect.
great. God is great.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you for joining. Please talk a little bit about your experience during the boot camp, after the boot camp, when you were looking for a job, after you found the job, now that you've been working in the industry for a year right now. I don't know the exact time. And then during this, right, when you're explaining, if they have any questions, I'm going to direct the questions to you. Okay?
Yes. Hello, everybody. I'm gonna start with the proper introduction. My name is Dan. I for now, I actually joined the boot camp through my friend. He actually asked me if he wanted to join. So it was actually three of us that we joined together, him, his brother, and me. And we went through the boot camp all together. Everything went very smooth. Actually, the team was great, very helpful if we during classes and even after classes. There's a support team that actually answers your questions, and we had like Leon said, there's a fraction where you learn coding and then you start with the other tools. And my background is I'm not an IT background. I have some general knowledge around the IT, but not an IT background. So that it wasn't very hard and everything is very easy to pick up from the ground. So everything is made simply for us to understand and pick up and become a pro at the end of the 6 months. But yeah, so 6 months in, we went through the training and everything, learned soft skills, hard skills, and we went on a 101. We'd split on teams. We had our own project, and after that, we had the team help us prepare the resume, and we were out there searching for jobs. We got referrals from Neotech, very helpful. Thank you for that. And well, landed a job after a month and a few days. So I landed my job on May 30th. So it would be a year and a half now that I've been working with my company. It's been a ride, man.
Perfect. So one of the questions that generally they like to ask is, in the company, are you using the same tools that you learn in Neotech, or maybe you are using other tools in the company that you're working right now?
No, I'm using completely different tools. See, once you learn the tools that we are taught in Neotech, it's actually easy to pick up the other tools. It's almost generally everything's almost the same. You just got to have the will to learn it. We learned Java at Neotech. I'm using C Sharp, and we learn so as a programming language, and as a as a tool to separate the tasks in Neotech, we learned. Jira, and I'm actually using Azure DevOps, which is ADO called. So yeah, I'm using everything completely different.
Oh, that's
It was kind of scary in the beginning, but hey, just go for it. You never know. You have some
Oh,
experience, you have the knowledge, so it's good.
yeah. So even though you didn't have the tool in your portfolio, still they hired you. You told them that I can learn those new tools. That's what happened.
Yes, exactly. Yes, they saw my resume. They're like, "Oh, you have a Java background. How do you feel about us using C Sharp?" I'm like, it's something new. I'm always down to learn new things. So, if you guys are okay with me teaching while I go, I'm okay with it, and they totally loved it. So yeah, like I mean, as long as you show them that you are willing to learn everything that's taught to you, they're fine.
Perfect. So what about, are you still at the same company, or did you change company during the time?
No, I'm still at the same company. I actually love the company I work with. I have a very flexible schedule. I'm on salary. So today, for example, worked only a few hours, went to the gym. Yeah, I'm gonna work a little bit later. So I get my job done. They don't bother me. They love me. It's kind of cool. Love it.
That's good. And by the way, is your work on site or remote?
I'm actually hybrid. I'm 2 days in the office, 3 days at home. Tomorrow I go in the office.
Okay, perfect. And Kale is asking, which batch were you? You were batch 4, right?
I think so. I don't remember, man. But
Okay.
has it been two batches so far?
Yeah. So
What
you have
which
you
batch
have
are you guys on?
started like 2 years ago, and then you said one and a
Yeah.
half year ago you were done. And how long did it take for you to find a job after the boot camp?
Well, so here's the thing. After you graduate, you have to make it your job search as a full-time job. So if you don't make it as a full-time job, it might take a while. But for me, it took in a month. I woke up at 7 a.m., sending applications, sending emails. I took a break at lunchtime because everybody takes a break. They're not going to look at your email. So you kind of go with the flow, how things work. So that's how you do your job hunting. But yeah, in a month, I'm applying every day, getting phone calls. I mean, it's part of the job hunting process, all this. So you got to hustle a little bit.
Okay, perfectly. So yeah, so as Everest is saying, like if you don't try, you never know. So you have to try and then you also said that applying. So this is something that I want you to know, guys, because I've seen some of the students, they say, okay, so this boot camp is 6 months, and then at the end of the 6 months, I'm going to start working the next day. So, oh, that's great. There's no such a thing. So whenever the boot camp is over, you learn the tools, you get the skills, and you're gonna apply for jobs. You're gonna apply for a lot of jobs. Sometimes you apply for 100 jobs and only 10 of them return, or maybe only a couple of them return. And then you're gonna start getting interviews. And then after getting a couple of interviews, then probably sometimes you're gonna do some good interviews, and maybe they'll hire you or give you an offer. So sometimes, as I said, for example, you got one offer, right, or multiple offers.
Well, I applied for like 100, like you were mentioning it, and I got like 5 to 7 people reach back to me, and I talked to this recruiter. He said sometimes you can get Fridays off, or you can leave early. So I was like, yeah, man, I'm not even gonna search anymore. So I'm not just gonna stop my search here until I feel more comfortable to look for something else. So like I took the first opportunity that came through the door, which has been great so far.
Okay, so that because that was a flexible job, that's why you liked it. But
Yes.
generally, we tell our students, even after you get the first offer, you continue applying because you get better offers sometimes. Also, as I said, if you have multiple offers, it's good for you so that you can raise them between each other, right? Say
Oh
like
yeah.
I have a
Oh
better
yeah.
offer, so if you match it, it'll be great. Um,
Yes.
so, what skills did you endorse as a student?
What skills did I endorse as a student? Can you rephrase that question? What kind of skills
I don't
do
know.
I have as a student?
Probably means that what are the skills that you were better, or what are the skills that you learned during the boot camp that you used during the job interviews? Maybe I don't know. Like
Okay.
if you can rephrase the question, but just give an answer, whatever you.
So Leon earlier on the presentation showed all the skills that we learn here on the boot camp. However, there's additional skills that you can learn, and you can do your own researches and learn other stuff. But I just showed up with the skills that I was taught here in the boot camp, API testing, and with using Selenium and yeah, automation. So that's the skills I showed up with.
Okay, and then let me ask you this: as of right now, are you working as a backend or front end tester?
I'm going back and forth for I'm
You do
involved in
both.
quite a few projects, man. Yeah, they've involved me everywhere because they saw that I want to learn everything. I'm like, I want to learn everything, so I'm on everything. But yeah, I'm
Oh,
back and front.
you were the same. I remember you during the boot camp. You were like on top of it, and you're trying to learn. That's great because students that are eager to learn, it's better for them, right? Because they're gonna learn a lot and they're gonna be able to be exposed to a lot of jobs and everything. But there are also students that they just do the bare minimum, and of course, it will be difficult for them to apply and to find the job. So, what about, can I ask you this? What were mostly asked in the interviews? Were there the soft skills, let's say, or the technical interviews? Like the questions that I asked in
So
the interviews?
it goes with the companies and with the position that you're applying for mostly. But so there's two sessions. There's the phone call usually where they just get to know you, the recruit and all. You just introduce yourself to them. And there's another session with the hiring manager where well, I'm sorry, there's a session with a technical team. So you go with the technical team, they ask you some technical questions, which is everything that we are taught and prepared for. But in my case, since I did C sharp, there was no technical questions, just some API questions on the technical side. But other than that, other people will actually put you down to do some coding. You'll learn some stuff to code a couple simple functions, but nothing hard if you pay attention and you learn your stuff.
Okay, that's
But
good.
it's more like they see the way you talk and how you address and how you form your words and take your time when you answer your questions, think a little bit. But yeah, it's more whenever your soft skills, if they like you, they like you.
Yeah. Sometimes your let's say social skills are very important. So sometimes they want people who are a team member, a team player, somebody who can let's say, may have a drink after work, not somebody who is only technical and they don't want to talk. So they want somebody who will feel comfortable and will make the others feel comfortable in the team. So that's a very plus for people that are social.
Actually, yes. So we have a break room. I have a huge break room, and then we have a refrigerator and a kegerator. So after work, we grab a beer with the team of developers. So yeah, that's nice. You know, we have foosball, ping pong. We play different stuff. So it's nice. You know, it depends. So like I said, they like you as a person, they'll hire you.
That's great. So you feel comfortable with the team and you feel comfortable with the job right now. So are you planning to switch to another to apply for other jobs right now, or you're like gonna stay there?
My friend is pushing me because he knows I could do better, but I don't know yet. You know,
Did you grade any?
I
Did you get
like
any upgrades so far? Let's say I don't know, to senior or to lead or something like that, or not yet?
me.
Mm-hmm.
Not yet, but maybe this around March, I'm going to talk to my manager and be like, "Hey, man, it's time." But yeah, so right
But
now I'm very
before you talk, you
comfortable.
probably it's better for you to apply to some places so that you have
Oh
an
yeah,
offer or something so that you can let
exactly,
him know.
for sure. Yeah, I applied for another job, but I was like, just in case, just not. I need the experience, you know, like go different interviews so I can next time when I go to interview, don't get stuck. But you can always apply, and if you don't like the offer, you just decline.
Yeah, that's perfect. So I saw a meme on the internet saying that the manager saying that we are a family, and he said I applied to 20 other families during this week.
Oh, that's funny.
And then the last question. So here we have a question from Everest. He's saying, do you think working remotely or on site is better or hybrid?
So, depending what your lifestyle is, I've come to find out that I like my hybrid job position, but there's times where I'm like, oh man, I don't want to go in the office today. And my manager is cool like that. So I'm like, hey man, I'm not making it today. So he's like, okay, whatever. But yeah, depending how, like I said, depend on your lifestyle. Like I don't have kids at home, but if you have kids at home, you need to look over them. You can always take a small 5 minute break, 10 minute, 15 minute, make them lunch or something while you're working from home. But like I said, depends how you live. Everybody's different. Some people can't thrive at home. Some people thrive with other people. So yeah, me, I thrive wherever I go.
Okay, so what about where you were at home versus where you go to the office? Do you think you learn more when you go to the office because you ask questions to the others, maybe communicate with the others better when you're at the office, or doesn't matter for you?
So our team, it's only me and my manager at the office, but we have different developers from different teams in the building. Most of our team is in Georgia, but I don't have many questions, but I already but with my manager we actually share a bunch of topics, a bunch of interesting uh like tools and stuff. So he's always trying to get better. So I'm like, nice, I like him. And plus we're cool. We're so cool with my manager. We share, I mean, he lives next to me almost like an hour away, but he does gardening and I give him some seeds from Albania. So it's kind of cool.
Oh, that's great. So yeah, I like if I would pick myself, I would say like hybrid is the best because you don't want to go every day to work, but on the other side, you don't want to stay always at home, right? So you'd like to stay at home, but sometimes to go and see people and talk and have, let's say, a conversation because and of course sometimes being on site it helps you also with learning the things, especially at the beginning when it's the first couple of months. After a specific time, then maybe you don't need too much to go and to meet with the people. So I think we answered most of their questions. Of course, if they have extra questions they can ask, but thank you very much for joining us then, for sharing your experience with us, and maybe I'm going to invite you again in the future.
You're most welcome, Edion. It's a pleasure to see you, to hear from you. I see Ahmet is on the call. Ahmet, hello and bye. You guys take care. And for the people that are listening, good luck to you, to future endeavors, and wish you the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dan. Maybe Ahmet will take it from there. And
Yes.
by the way, Dan said hi to you.
Yeah, I just heard it. Hello back then. So happy to have you here. All right. So hello everyone. My name is Ahmed. I'm one of the instructors here, and I'm also a senior software tester. So I'll be sharing my screen. and continue the rest of the presentation. So how you will learn, right? We've been talking about the part, Elion explained it perfectly. So you already know how this process works with the live classes, but on top of it, we have the office hours. On top of it, we have individual and group projects. You're gonna have a lot of homeworks and tasks, and obviously some like coding challenges. Those are really, really important for you too. And then you will have a final assessment, which is our mock interview. So all this thing is to make you prepared for what? For job market. Okay, so this is our plan. And as you know, this is a career change program. We don't really want you to come here to learn Java or any other tools we teach. We actually want you to change your career, be a software tester, high paid software tester in IT field, right? This is the goal essentially. So in order to do that, what else do we do? So we will help you to build your resume. So you'll go through the mock interview, which is a perfect opportunity for you to learn what you're missing, what you will be missing in a real interview. And then we will help you with the resume building. We will give you an extensive knowledge about the market, how to apply for jobs, when to apply for jobs. We'll work throughout the program. We'll work on your soft skills. We will enhance it and make sure that you are good enough to answer almost all the questions regarding as a software tester and also a good team player, because this is a teamwork. And throughout the program, you already know there's going to be a one-on-one mentoring. You will have access to our alumni network, just like Dan. There are like hundreds of them out there. We love you, Dan, and we love all of our alumni. But yeah, so Dan is one of the best, but you will have access to a lot of different alumni too. And my favorite, my personal favorite, which is the salary negotiation. So you will get an offer. Once you get that offer, you'll reach out to placement. This is what we call it. And then we will I'll get on a call with you and try to get the best compensation out of your offer, especially when you have multiple offers, which is again my favorite thing to do. That is like a reward for me. I don't even know how to explain. So you can go to Glassdoor and see like this is a regular STAT, which it's one of the titles that we discussed before that software testers use. And this is an annual salary in terms of the base, but so far we've seen like lower than this and we've seen higher than this up to 140s. Actually, the record was like 175, but that was an offer in New York. Obviously, you can be eligible for that too. So speaking of offer letters, how does that work? How does it look like? I just prepared some like offer letters for you guys. Oops, my bad. Let me find them right here. Okay, here we go. So you will receive an offer letter and it's going to look like this, right? Like you will have the title, you will have the base salary. If you see it as a annual salary, that means it's a full-time job, it's a direct hire, or you can be eligible for contract jobs too. This one was an email. As you can see, it's private and confidential. That's the reason that we black out the company names and our students' names, so we don't, cross any borders. Like we don't get in trouble with that. This is a semi-monthly base salary with like 3,958, which would be equivalent to $95,000. And this is a pretty new one, I guess. The start date was like actually today. Yeah, this offer start date was today. We have some other offer. This was the beginning of October. And this guy, let me see yeah, here you go. This is an international offer. So you've seen CHF. And I think this was in Zurich. We have another one, 99,000. Here you go. $95,000 and 105. We have so many of others that can go to 115. As you can see on the left side, like we have so many different offers, but we will be there to help you. And again, our job is to make sure, so we don't have any limitation with the placement part. So our job is to make sure that you find that job. This is what we do. This is what we're proud of. These are some of the companies that our alumni is actively working for. And I can assure you, like working for a big name, like Fortune 500 company is definitely something good, but you might be getting your dream job in any other companies out there that nobody even knows of, nobody even like heard about, but still, this is a really rewarding job. And speaking from experience, I'm a software tester and I can assure you, you will be happy here. And the first step to do that will be to join. You're actually here. And for today, we're gonna have some special discounts and like some early bird promotions. So please tune in, and I'll give microphone back to Eric. He's gonna continue with the presentation.
All right, thanks so much, Ahmet. Right, there we go. Okay, so what have we talked about so far? We talked about the importance of the IT industry, how it is obviously very prevalent. It's going to continue to grow. It's going to get more complex. We talked about how Neotech is the leader in the bootcamp industry, and the whole idea there is to shorten that learning curve. You heard from one of our alumni. And now let's go into a little bit more in depth as far as how do you actually get involved? What's that process look like? Well, let me ask this question. How many of you know someone who got a degree and they aren't even working in that field? Anybody know someone like that where they have a degree in whatever, psychology or I don't know, electrical engineering or accounting, whatever the case may be, and they're not working in that field, and in some cases they never have. You probably know someone like that. I have family who are in that situation. So check out the average cost of tuition on your screen, and you see that you're looking at on average about $36,000 per year. Some of you probably already know this. And then if you look at a private university, I mean, you're talking about 40, 50, $60,000 a year. Now, I know you can get grants, you might get a scholarship, but potentially you're looking at about in excess of $200,000 over the course of 4 years, plus all that time. And we're not even counting grad school. I mean, so many jobs outside of IT require not just an undergrad, but a graduate degree as well. That's more time. That's more money on top of that. And when it's all said and done, do they guarantee you a job? Do they help you out in job placement? Let's just put it that way. And the answer is no. They're not incentivized to do that. Now, when it comes to boot camps, and you see on your screen there, it's over $13,000, the average boot camp price. So here's what we've done. Because the average boot camp is so unattainable for many people, we have come up with a very creative way to make it attainable for most people, and really to help you get your new career, and I would say what really is your new life started. So let me walk you through exactly how that process works and what it looks like. Okay, so you should be seeing on your screen regular tuition, $5,249. So instead of being responsible for the entire tuition up front, what we do is we actually partner up with you. You pay a portion of the tuition, and then we help you find a job after graduation. So the regular tuition, $5,249, we do offer, like Ahmet was saying a moment ago, an early bird discount, which is good through tomorrow for all of you who are tuning in with us tonight. That's an extra $500 off, and that brings the tuition down to $47.49. But here's the thing. It's paid in 7 monthly installments of $678 per month. So not $13,000 plus like most of the other boot camps out there, and they offer less than we do. Plus, they don't give you the job placement like we do. So you're looking at 7 monthly installments, $678 per month. And then there is a one-time placement fee of 85% of only your first month's salary. And that's even split up over 4 months. And that's only after we help you find a job. So rather than paying the entire boot camp investment up front, again, we're partnering up with you. Now we're on the same side of the table. Every other boot camp out there, you're on the opposite side of the table, but we are on the same side of the table with you. But again, when you agree that it's in our best interests to not just train you, but also help you find a job as well. And the answer is, of course, because we're incentivized to get you hired as quickly as possible for the job that's most important to you. Now, if you are joining us tonight, and we have this happen quite often because we have a lot of our alumni who are referring students to us. If that's you, when you get in touch with us, when you reach out to us, let us know that you were referred by a Neotech student or alumni, because there could be an additional discount. And the tuition keeps coming down. And here's what I mean by that. If you sign up with a group, so if two of you enroll, each student gets an additional $150 off of what I just mentioned to you a moment ago. If you enroll in a group of 3, each student will get $200 off. Groups of 4 or more, reach out to us, let us know, and we'll work out something. Now, you might ask, well, why do you guys want people to sign up in groups? Well, you can encourage each other. You can help motivate each other. You can help each other out with homework, and potentially down the road even refer each other to some job opportunities. It's kind of like going to the gym with your with a buddy. So you got a gym buddy, kind of motivating you and helping you do that extra rep. Here's a big question that people have: what if I change my mind later? Well, here's the good news: there was no deposit, no application fee. You don't pay anything until the boot camp actually kicks off. You start paying when the classes begin, not before. You can cancel for free anytime until the boot camp starts. And then there's a 30-day money back guarantee. So there's a 100% refund if you decide to leave by, in this case, anytime until March 16th. So again, guys, it's risk-free. I mean, it's really is. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. We make it really easy to get a hold of us. You can reach out to us at neotechacademy.com/bootcamp. You can also book a call with our admissions team, neotech.live/call. You can also give us a ring if you want to. If you want to do it kind of the old-fashioned way, give us a call at 929-566-3919. Also, guys, if you have questions in the meantime, reach out to us, team@neotechacademy.com. Email us for any questions, team@neotechacademy.com. Now, as we start to wrap this up, let's run through real quickly why join Neotech Academy. Okay, we already told you about Course Report. We already told you about other companies out there that rate organizations like us, schools like us, and they have us as #1, for last year, for this year. And guys, this is all we do. I always like to say, this is not Neotech Academy where we teach people IT plus bartending or truck driving. Those are all great things, great careers. Yeah, okay. But we don't do it. All we do is IT. That's it. We teach you how to, we train you how to be successful in the IT industry. But let's say you wanted to do this by yourself, or you wanted to, go to university for 4 years, or do an online course that's self-paced. If you're self-taught, well, who knows how long it's going to take you to finish this. And when people do things on their own, they don't know exactly what they're supposed to learn because they're trying to teach themselves. And by human nature, we are procrastinators. I used to always joke that a friend of mine was always telling me he was going to read War and Peace. And then I would follow up with him like months later. Hey, what chapter are you on? He's like, well, I'm still on chapter 2. All right, well, hope you get through that book someday. Here at Neotech Academy, how long will it take you? It's 6 months in a very structured course, learning the things that you need to know to be successful in this industry, being trained by people who are actually doing it. Elion, for example, Ahmed, they're actually doing it. So they don't just teach it and that's it. They're actually out there in the real world, keeping up on changes in technology, changes in curriculum, so that you are not learning stale material. You're always learning cutting edge material from guys who are out there in the workspace right now. So if you're self-taught and you're trying to learn, well, you are the expert. And right now, you don't really know much of anything. No offense, but in this, you don't really know much of anything. And you're going to try to teach yourself? University, it's not very interactive. Online courses are unsupervised. Neotech Academy, it's hands-on and live with real traders, real teachers, real trainers. Industry expert trainers, again, not really existing because you're doing it yourself. University setting, well, sometimes some professors know what they're talking about. I remember a business professor I had never started a business before. didn't really work much in corporate America, yet he's a business professor. That's interesting. This is real world experience, guys. I won't go through all of these in the interest of time, but the learning content is up to you. Ours is market driven. University many times is too theoretical. We offer one-on-one mentorship. University setting, not really very much opportunity for one-on-one because there are just too many students. And tech support is nearly 24/7 with us. University setting is very limited and doesn't exist in the other avenues. So, guys, and I hope you're seeing this. We are passionate about what we do. We are, again, we're on the same side of the table. So we're incentivized to help you land that first job. Our program is tested. I hope you saw that from our alumni, Dan, that you got to meet earlier. And I was getting psyched up just listening to him. I mean, I thought he did an awesome job just explaining his experience and how we were able to help him out. We constantly work on guiding our students towards the best jobs in the market. And guys, we're here to help you build your career from the ground up. We've got hundreds of graduates in the IT workforce. And I hope that one of you will wind up being that next graduate that we're going to be interviewing on one of our next live sessions. So what I want to do now is I'm going to bring back Ilya and Ahmet, and I'm going to open this up for some final questions. So folks, those of you who are listening in with us, if you have any final questions for us, let us know. Go ahead and fire away.
So that was our presentation, guys. We talked about the tools, we talked about the instructors, we talked about our alumni, how we help all of you, and also the pricing. So if you have any questions, guys, we're gonna answer your questions. If not, as Eric explained, you can give us a call through the number. You can shoot an email. So whichever way you prefer, guys, you can contact us, and you can make sure that you can answer if you have even further questions. So if you have questions like WebNet, then you can definitely give a call and then ask about what are the discounts that you can get, and what are the let's say the paying this one in installments. What are the options? Okay. Any other questions, guys? If you have any questions, you're welcome. You have the website there where you can do the application. So what is important, if we can go back to a couple of slides back, Eric, I think we're going to wrap up with that one. Or if you want, I can share my screen, and then it will be easier.
Okay.
So let me share my screen. What is important, guys, is always the most important part is the price. Let me move myself this way. So this is the tuition, guys, for the bootcamp. As of today and tomorrow, you have an early bird discount, which is $500 off, and this goes even more if you're referred by an alumni. If you have a friend, or I don't know, a group of friends that you want to join together, so you can get an extra discount there. So the tuition goes from $5,249 to $4,749, and then this will be paid with installments, and there are no extra fees. There are no interest there, right? So this is with interest free, $678 per month. So it is paid in 7 installments. This is the tuition during the bootcamp. Then after the bootcamp is over, as we said, we help you with the resume, we'll help you with applying a job. And then after you find the job, only after you find the job, you pay the second part, which is the 85% of your first month's salary. So let us suppose that the salary is $100,000 a year. So it is $8,000 approximately a month. And then 85% of them will be, let's say, $7,500. And that one also will not be paid upfront, but it will pay with installments. So after you settle down, after you start working and getting your salaries, you pay that part, because I hope that you're happy after after you find the job. So that is the tuition, guys. That is the payments. And by the way, as we said, if you are referred by somebody, you get an extra discount. If you are a group of friends, you have other discounts. What is very important here, guys, is that sorry, let me go back. So if you sign today or tomorrow, then you don't need to pay anything until February. This will start on February 16th. Until February, guys, you're not going to pay anything. The bootcamp will start on February 16th, and you're going to start with the first installment, first payment. During the first month, guys, you're going to try everything for yourself. See our mentors, see our teachers, see our instructors, and see the assistants, like support. You will see if you like it, if it's for you, then you continue with the second payment, and then you are considered as a student. If you say, you know what, I did it, but I don't like it, it's too hard for me, or I don't know, like if there are any other options why you don't like, then you can definitely drop off and you're going to be refunded, right? As long as you let us know, because we're going to announce it at the end of the first month. Are you happy? Do you want to continue? If you say no, guys, you just let us know. No question asked. You're going to be refunded 100%, even the first payment that you did. Why do we do this one? We do this one because we want you to try it for yourself, to see it for yourself. If you like it, and most of the students, I can say 95% or 97% of them, they continue with the bootcamp, but there's a 5% of the students who, I don't know, find it difficult, or maybe, I don't know, there are other things there in their life and they cannot do it. This is good for them because, and for us, because they are suggesting to the other people. They say, that's a very wonderful bootcamp. I like it so much, but it's not for me, but hey, you give it a try. And then definitely, right, definitely, we have had this kind of cases that they have suggested to the other people. So that's why we do this one, so that you try it for yourself, and then in 1 month, right, it's a 1 month trial. You see it. If you like it, you continue. If not, you're free to leave. So this is for the day, guys. If you don't have any questions, I think we're good. I don't know if you want to add something, Ahmet.
Sorry, I couldn't unmute myself. Yeah, I mean, this was definitely you covered everything, and once again, guys, you will not be sorry. And today, if you sign in like today, tomorrow, that means you will be getting the best possible price. I can assure you that. So happy to see you all, and looking forward to actually seeing you all in our classes.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Bye-bye.